Kyoryu Sentai! Zyuranger!
Hi, and welcome to yet another one of my Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger episode reviews. This time reviewing episode 14, Become Small, where a young boy who's always being told off by his mum meets a fairy who's being told off by Bandora. And between them, they make a lot of things small. I may be simplifying things a bit. Let's get into the episode, and we'll talk more after.
The episode opens with Bandora reading out the resume of a dwarf called Don Don. Pleplecorn is asking for him as an assistant because Bandora is always rushing him on his monsters. On Earth, Dan and Boy meet a boy and his mum outside of school. The mum is dragging Toshio in by his ear because he forgot to do his homework and didn't want to go in. The mum is yelling so much, even Dan and Boy are a little scared. In class, the teacher is shouting as well. Walking out of the school, Toshio encounters Don Don, who is banished by Bandora. The two bond over always getting yelled at. Don Don wants to collect samples in his magic jars, starting by sucking a motorbike in. Toshiro asks to try and he sucks in an airplane. Next is the Tokyo Tower and a nearby train and building. The Rangers find out about this while watching the news in the temple and leave in time to see a flying boat. Dan and Boy see Toshiro and Don Don with the jars, but they run away, each thinking the Rangers are after them. As they escape in the back of a van, the two Rangers borrow someone's car. Afraid of being yelled at again, Don Don sucks the car into a jar, trapping the Rangers as well. The Rangers ask the pair if they know what they are doing, and that there are many on the train and plane stuck in the bottles. Listening for themselves, they hear the cries of the people inside and quickly release them all. The Rangers ask to be released next, and Toshiro says okay if they don't yell at them. This causes Boy to yell that they caused a panic and deserve to be spanked 100 times. This causes Toshiro to throw the bottle away, and Boy and Dan to get into an argument about how to deal with the situation. Dan leans back out the window to apologise. Back on the moon, Bandora is ecstatic about this situation, sending Grafforza down to destroy the Rangers and steal the bottles. As Grafforza, Buckback and Tosspat approach Don Don and Toshiro, a blast sends them back as the remaining Rangers arrive. Grafforza fires an energy blast as a team transform, fighting off the golems. Buckback and Tosspat chase Toshiro, who has the bottle, with Boy and Dan in, until it's thrown in the air, only to be caught by May. But then she drops it when attacked by Grafforza. The bottle lands on the tracks in front of an approaching train, only for May to grab the bottle at the last second, releasing them from the bottle. The two boys get sucker punched by a golem before transforming and joining the fight. Toshiro and Don Don run away, but wherever they go, people are looking for them, with Toshiro's mum saying she will never forgive him. They both feel bad about causing so much trouble, but are scared of the consequences of their actions and getting told off for skipping school and shrinking people. Bandora appears and tells them to avoid getting killed, they have to defeat the adults. Don Don doesn't like the idea, but Bandora throws down her wand and makes both of them grow. Toshiro tries to step on the Rangers before he and Don Don start stamping on the ground. Toshio's mum and teacher come out and try to tell him off, but he sends them flying as he shakes the ground more. The Rangers call their guardian beasts, quickly forming Daijujin. But Goosh points out they can't fight a child in Daijujin. As Toshiro and Don Don huddled together in fear, now there is something bigger than them again. Don Don figures their only choice is to defeat the Rangers and sucks Daijujin into a bottle. Geki quickly summons Godhorn, which knocks Don Don and the boy over, and as the bottle hits the ground, it opens, freeing the Rangers once again. Toshiro is furious they hurt his friends, and he grabs the Godhorn to attack Daijujin. The Rangers manage to get the sword back as Boy shouts to Toshiro to stop, before he really becomes bad, as his mum comes around the corner shouting at the Rangers to punish the boy, causing him to hide behind Daijujin. Boy shouts to the mum that she's to blame, but she then apologises to Toshiro, who cries he wants to go back to normal. Geki takes one of Don Don's bottles and tries to suck in Bandora and her minions, causing her to blast Daijujin and retreat. Don Don and Toshiro return to normal, and mother and son share a tearful reunion. Don Don decides to return to the fairy woods to become a sculptor. And as he leaves, he gives Toshiro a black model of Daijujin and waves goodbye.
Okay, so that was a pretty fun episode, I'll be honest. It's definitely one I remember from when I was a kid watching Power Rangers. I think it was Mr. Tickle Sneezer. And I think it was, if I remember right, it turned out to be Trini's dream, so it didn't actually happen. Or it did happen but didn't, but I just remember it like something about Trini's dream and it was Mr. Tickle Sneezer. I think they sort of left it as Trini's dream because, of course, it also contains one of the biggest things that kids ever noticed in Power Rangers, which was a shot of a little kid hiding behind the Megazords. And you're like, what did I just see? What? Why? Of course, watching this episode, you know, we know why. And it's quite a good story. I mean, for one thing, Fairy Don Don isn't a Bandora monster. It's not a Dora Don Don or Dora Fairy or whatever you'd want to call it if it was a Bandora one. Which kind of expands the Zyuranger universe, for lack of a better name. I mean, obviously we've got Totopat, who's a vampire, so he's got to come from somewhere. You've got Buckback, that's whatever he is, gremlin, goblin, troll, whatever he is. I don't think it's ever actually been said up to this point. You've got Grifforza, who's armored winged blue monkey thing, who to this point in the series has not said a single word. Just in case no one's actually noticed that if they're watching along, he hasn't said a thing. Unlike Goldar, who pretty much never shut up. Yes, my mistress, I will get the Power Rangers. Yeah, he was always going on and basically licking Rita's backside. Grifforza just sort of like nods away and goes off and does as he's told. He doesn't actually say anything. But yeah, so this fairy Don Don, is yet another species from wherever he's from. Obviously, Bandora's human. She's just a witch. The Rangers are all humans from ancient tribes, back when humans and dinosaurs shared the earth. Not quite sure where you're going to find that in a history textbook, but yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, they're from like 170 million years ago. How are we supposed to know that it didn't happen? conspiracy alert. Maybe it did. But yeah, it's a fun one. It is a fun one. And also there's the whole, like, at one point you've got, I can't remember if it's Dan or Boy now, but one of them saying, oh yeah, like, kids need to be told off because, they won't learn otherwise. So, and then getting to the point where it's like, whoa, 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 mum, you're to blame. You're the one scaring him because you're telling them off so much. Kids get scared. So obviously, it is part of that. This is a kiddie show. I'm a kid at heart. Yeah, it's a kid's show, but at the same time, it's sort of like going, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't like shout at kids. Kids will get scared. Teach your kids. Don't just tell them off all the time. Which is fair enough. Beat them when no one's looking. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, it is a good one. It is a good one. Obviously, it's another episode of the week. When we don't have any of these overarching stories, it's not a multi-parter like we've had so far. I mean, we've had the first 6 episodes made up 3 two-parters. Then you had 2 single episodes, a 2-parter, and now this is the 4th single one. We've got another single episode, and then we've got, I think, 5-parter, or no, Destroy the 1, 2, 3. No, we've got 2 more episodes, and then we've got, I think, the 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5-parter or 6-parter even for the Dragon Caesar, which obviously became the 5-part Green with Evil. So I am so looking forward to that. A couple of episodes, couple more weeks, and then we get into Green Ranger territory. And for most people, he was their favourite. But back to this episode, like I say, it's a standalone. We're not introducing part of the mythology like the Guardian Beast or Daijujin. We're not introducing part of the legend of the show, which would be the Dino Eggs. Because obviously they're going to come back repeatedly throughout the series. Because at the moment they're just floating out at sea. So as a standalone episode, and in the middle of a bunch of standalone Kid of the Week episodes, it's fun. It's memorable enough. I think most people, like, at a push, would remember like the really ugly looking monster thing with bottles that sucked in Tokyo Tower from Angel Grove, like if you're talking to Power Rangers fans. But I always thought it was just a colourful, like, Eiffel Tower or something. I didn't know about the Tokyo Tower as a kid. I suppose as a kid, like, you see all this stuff, and unless you actually knew it's Japanese, it wouldn't really make much difference. I like the different size jars. So obviously you had the model train in one, like long, thin one. You have big jars, small jars. I love the point where, I think it's the thumbnail of this video, where Daijujin's there raising its sword up high and it's holding the kid. It looks like it's about to spank the kid with the sword. And you got Goosh going, we can't actually fight a kid with, like, Daijujin, Geki. We can't fight the kid. And then they call the sword. It's like, yeah, we're going to spank you with this sword. And the kid trying to fight Daijujin. That's just... It's things that, they stick in the minds. They're fun. I mean, they're making me smile now. So I'd say it's a good episode. It's good to see sort of Bandora with her minions on Earth. She's powerful enough that she can send a blast at the Daijujin. See, that's what happens when I keep mentioning Power Rangers. I'm going to keep calling it Megazord. But yeah, she fires a blast at Daijujin, and it's enough to send it staggering back. So that does show that Bandora is powerful. Obviously, she's making these monsters and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, I think Daijujin was enough of a shock early on, like around episode 6, I think it was. She even referred to it, like, what, they can do that? So yeah, I think, like, it's all new for all of them. Just, amazingly, the Rangers know how to control a god from sitting inside its head. Did Power Super Sentai come up with the idea of Inside Out? Yeah, we're just going to have like 5 colourful people inside the head of this god, and like they'll control what the god does. And you've got Disney or Pixar years later. Well, this is Inside Out. You got like a bunch of colourful people inside the kid's head, and they control what she does. Sounds a bit familiar. Anyway, we have next week. What do we have? We have Destroy the Dark Super Sword, which, if I remember rightly, is a Goosh episode. If memory serves, that will be the first time we actually get a Goosh-centered episode. And I think it actually had footage used in Power Rangers as well. So we'll cover that more when we get to it. If you've enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed my waffling on aimlessly for the last, I don't know, 7-8 minutes or however long it's been, please throw a like and subscribe at my way. Let me know that you like what I'm doing. And also, you know, throwing that subscribe down, it lets you know when I put more videos out. So you can always come back and stop me waffling some more. Or even just skip the bits with me in. Just watch like my condensed version of the episode. It's up to you. Either way, stay good. I've got toy reviews that I am planning. I've literally just today received my birthday present from the wife. I got Zenkaion Jugaron. It's noisy. I love it. And I've got Vroom Machine on the way anyway, so I'll be able to swap and change. And then I think for Christmas I'll be getting the Canon, so I can combine them all. I'll be making videos on them all once I get to a point where I'm a bit quicker with these videos. Because it's Saturday today and it's going up tonight. I've left it to the last minute. But anyway, till next week, guys. Take care.